investing into pets.com, you moved to investing more in fintech. How did you learn about the industry? What made you decide to be sort of an expert?
So I always had some kind of curiosity about the banking and financial and obviously financial technology. And I realized and noticed, especially after spending some time with Czech at the time, initially the name was Page One, then Czech, that the banking industry and anything around it still living with technology from 30 years ago. Basically what people say the Middle Ages. And I start to kind of spend more time into fintech and then Czech, and then a couple months later or 6 months after the investment in Czech, I ran into Renaud that started Lending Club.
Mm-hmm.
I met him before he started the company, and got involved with that. And he did, Lending Club did something that no one believed that can be done. It's crazy to give money to people with no collateral.
Yeah.
So through Lending Club also I got more and more involved in fintech, and as things progressed, both companies did well. I got to learn and know more and more about financial technology.
Good. Just to sort of explicitly clarify, you were one of the early investors in Lending Club. What rounds did you do? How was that process? I think Lending Club initially was like a Facebook app.
Correct.
That over time became a marketplace.
Correct. So the idea that Renaud, the CEO and founder, came up with is to do peer-to-peer lending through social network, through Facebook and maybe other social networks that were there at the time. There was no intention to do it with people that don't know each other or not in the same network.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and that changed real quick. Probably within the first 12 months, they realized that it's not big enough to do it this way, and the marketing is very limited.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided to open it up to the entire population in the US.
So they moved off of Facebook?
They moved off of Facebook. All the marketing moved away from Facebook. I mean, they did some later on as a general marketing, but it's not through your network. It's not necessarily people you know that you lend money and borrow from.
Got it. And when you were evaluating that seed investment in Lending Club, you sort of put money in on the premise that people will give each other money on Facebook or other social networks.
Correct. So obviously you look at the entrepreneur and most of the decisions should be made on that. And I really trusted and believed in what Renaud is doing, and he had a conviction that he's going to build something big and disrupt the lending space. Peer-to-peer is not something that people are familiar, definitely not through the internet. So it was innovating and revolutionary. And yeah, I invested in the seed, I invested in the A, and I also put money on the platform as a peer-to-peer lender. So I was one of the side peers.
One of the people who initially were the investors in the loan notes that were other loans other people were getting. So you were given the loan notes.
Correct.
And was it always like, or when it started initially, was it like loans divided into multiple small things? I think Lending Club also had to get SEC approval.
Correct.
So they were not doing loans for, I think, a period of like 9 months to 12 months.
So there was a period of 9 months that they had to go through the SEC certification and get approval by the SEC, and the competitors did not do it and paid for it later on. So it was about 8 to 9 months, that what we call the quiet period, that you could not do peer-to-peer from individuals. So you had to get accredited investors, high net worth individuals that affiliated with the company. So people like myself and other seed investors or other venture investors that were involved had to put money on the platform, and then that was divvied up to the different borrowers.
Got it. And then you did seed, and then you did A for it, and that then completely changed the lending industry as we know it today.
Absolutely, yeah. And then, there were a couple other companies that trying to do it, and they grew to a certain size. Again, it's still a small part of the entire lending space, but it definitely disrupted the space and created a whole new industry of lending.